God does not intend for there to be so many different Christian denominations. He doesn't intend that there is disunity, disharmony, or even war and terrorism that occurs between Christians. But unfortunately, throughout history, we have seen division after division. There have been movements towards unity at times. As Catholics, we belong to the one church. All Christians are one. Jesus prays for this just before his death. He's praying for unity, and this is what our gospel is today. Praying for this unity. Today's saint, St. Josaphat, was born into a Ukrainian Orthodox family. And St. Josaphat and several other of his contemporaries, as young teenagers and young adults, they read this passage and they realised in the 17th century that it's not right that there should be Christians fighting, Orthodox fighting against Catholics, Catholics fighting against Protestants, Protestants fighting against Orthodox and so on. That we're called to be united in our worship, united in our belief, that we're called to be one church. So Josaphat, who read these scriptures as a teenager with his friends, they said, we should become Catholics. And there was a process of discussion and reflection within the Ukraine at that time, what's currently or presently Ukraine. And permission was given for those who wanted to convert to become Catholics to maintain their Ukrainian heritage, their Ukrainian liturgical structures, which was a great thing. So Josaphat and a number of his friends became Catholics. And Josaphat then started and was the first member of a new Catholic monastery that was built in the Ukraine. He became a monk there, as did many of his friends. Then when he went on, they made him a bishop as well. Unfortunately, there were many tensions. There were many people who believed that the Orthodox should stay Orthodox, and they hated the Catholics. And this created all sorts of tension, and eventually there was a mob that took Josaphat and they killed him. As Catholics and as Christians, we should yearn for unity. We should be the biggest advocates for ecumenism within our area. It's something that I've been praying about and something that I've been thinking about we need within our parish are people to go out and to be instruments of unity with our other denominations, the other Christian denominations. To start a conversation so that we can see that we can be a united church. And that begins by friendship, it begins by conversation. Sometimes we as Catholics have been very well known for our work of ecumenism. Sometimes it's been falling upon certain priests, sometimes it's fell upon certain laity. St. Paul in the first reading today said that there are people who have many different gifts, but we're all united. Some are called to administration, some are called to be apostles, some are called to be prophets, some are called to be evangelists, some are called to be ecumenists, instruments of unity. Pray that maybe some of you and maybe others in our parish will be instruments of ecumenism. We'll be able to go out and speak to some of our other denominations. It's good when a pastor, someone like myself, gets up and speaks about it. But real unity happens like it did with Josaphat, not because the bishops or the priests were talking about unity, but that happened from the people. So let's be people, let's be Christians who are like Jesus Christ, that desire unity. Unity doesn't mean uniformity. And the beauty of, even till today, is that we have Ukrainian Catholics, the Ukrainian Catholic Rite. And we think of them and pray of them today. Within the Catholic Church, there's about 25 different rites. We belong to the Latin Rite, or most of us do. We're worshipping in the Latin Rite. But there are other rites, the Maronite Rite, you probably know them, the Lebanese, or the Melkites. Today we think of St. Josaphat, who is the great leader of unity within the Ukrainian Rite. So let's be instruments of ecumenism. Let's be voices that speak for unity amongst Christians, as Jesus desires. I pray, Father, that they may all be one. St. Josaphat, pray for